All right, so good morning or good afternoon, depending on what school you're at. So this lesson is going to be about the bubonic plague. If you're watching this, that means I am absent. Um, Hopefully it wasn't emergency absence. It's for the scheduled stuff for my wife so we can have our child. As soon as I get back, I'll show you guys pictures. But today you're going to be learning about the bubonic plague, the Black Plague. You're going to see some things that you're like, whoa, this stuff happened almost 1,000 years ago, and we're kind of going through similar stuff. So it's going to be kind of weird, to be real. It can be kind of nasty. You're going to see one picture in there that I'm sure some of you are going to be like, ew. But it is what it is. You guys should have slides to follow along with. How I want it to work today is you're just going to, for the first time, you're going to watch the video twice. With that, the first time you watch it, you're just going to literally just follow along and watch with Mr. D. You are going to have the PowerPoint in front of you, but I do not want anybody writing. In fact, I said I want in front of you. If actually just put it to the, if you do have it, just put it to the side, put it under your desk. I don't care, but I don't want it in front of you. I literally just want you to watch the video, take in what you can, and then the second go around, you're going to take notes. You're going to fill in the blank like normal. So here we go. Let me pull it up. We should be seeing the Black Plague now, so I'll go to slideshow. I'll do it from the beginning. All right, so the Black Plague or the Black Death. All right, so Tennessee State Standard 7.36, describe the economic and social effects of the spread of the Black Death, i.e. bubonic plague, from Central Asia to China, the Middle East, and Europe, and its impact on the global population. 7.37, analyze the importance of the Black Death on the emergence of a modern economy, including agricultural movements, commerce, growth of banking, a merchant class, technological improvements, and towns. Learning objectives. Students be able to describe the economic and social effects of the spread of the Black Death from Central Asia to China, the Middle East, and Europe in order to explain the importance of the Black Death on the emergence of a modern economy. All right, so let's actually look at this. So the economic and social effects. We know from our grades, economic, that means economy, has to do with money. Social effects, that could be the structure, the way that we live. The Black Death, that's what you're going to be learning about. Then all Asia to China, the Middle East, and Europe. All these three different, Asia to China, Middle East, we've covered in previous units, and Europe's now what we've been talking about the past 2 weeks. So explain the importance of the Black Death on the emergence of a modern economy. So we're going to talk about starting off where the disease comes from, where it started, what it actually was, and then we're going to end with how did it affect Europe's economy. All right, so words to know. You need to know the word famine, which means starving time, and plague, which is a disease that spreads quickly and kills large numbers of people. So like I said, you're going to see things and kind of make you think, and it's going to be like you may even compare to with COVID-19 and the coronavirus of what is going on right now to Black Plague, even though it's, we'll see what happens. All right, so what do you see, think, and learn? Now, I know I said at the beginning of this lesson, I don't want you to write anything down just yet, or follow along, but for this portion, I actually do. So if you could get out the notes and you could actually do this portion, I want you to tell me what you see. So looking at this picture, what do you see? So just jot 2 things down. I want you to go ahead and pause the video and write down what you see. And that, what do you see, think, wonder, blank. So pause it. All right, so now that you've done that, I want you to discuss it with the neighbor, and also want you to discuss what you think is going on in this picture. What do you think is happening? All right, now pause the video and then write down what you think. Now, once again, pause it and then write down and talk with your neighbor about what you wonder. What is the lesson going to be about? What do I wonder what happened? Why is this picture so crazy? So pause the video and write and talk. All right, so as we can see, there's a lot going on. We got all these people lying down. Looks like they could be dead. We've got these people over here holding up a wall, maybe pushing back. Looks like we got some soldiers right here. This looks like a barren wasteland. Looks just sad. Looks depressing. We've got this water. We've got smoke. Looks like no grass. I know that when we were in West Africa, I compared a lot of things to Africa and the Lion King. This looks like towards the end of the Lion King before Mufasa returns and how Pride Rock's just gotten really bad. And that's what it is right here. That's what we're going to talk about today. All right, so famine and plague. Now, we know famine and plague. Those are two of the words that we said we need to know. So just a quick review. Tell your neighbor what famine is. All right, now tell your neighbor what plague is. All right, so I'm going to read this along. So medieval Europe enjoyed prosperity and growth in the 1200s. So we've been talking about how they've been growing. They've been doing great things. So it's going really well. And then in the early 1300s, disaster struck. So it's going great. Things are on the rise. And then 1300s, it just goes down. They've got cold winters and rainy summers. With these rainy summers, crops are rotting. They can't properly grow. The fields are always wet, and the soil's just not able to produce. Livestock is dying because they don't have food for the livestock. Europe is now low on food, so people are not able to get food. And famine is going to last from 1315 to 1322. All right, so plague comes to Europe. In 1300s, a disease that began in Asia and spread across Europe. It's also known as the bubonic plague. So you may hear it, and may even on your case study test or your Tennessee TCAP test, you may see it as Black Death, or you may see it as bubonic plague. So do not get the two confused. Just know they're the same. It's caused by a bacteria that spread from fleas. We know fleas. Yes, the insect or bug that you're thinking of right now that gets on your dog. Rats carry fleas. So the Black Plague actually came from fleas that came from rats. And this is going to spread through trade. Now, what is a trade route that we've talked about since day one of Mr. D's class? Tell your neighbor. So it's crazy to think that this trade route, the Silk Road that we've been talking about, how it's always important, is actually going to be the cause of this disease spreading. There's you a nice picture of a rat to just kind of give you a nice image. I'll think about some nice fleas on that spreading. So next time you see a rat or a mouse or whatever, just think this is what caused the Black Plague. But please don't let it freak you out too much, because I just don't want you to have nightmares. All right, so where did it start? So it first broke out in China in the 1330s. Between 40 to 60 million people eventually died, half the Chinese population. Trade between China, India, and the Middle East and Europe was greatly encouraged by the Mongols. So think of the Mongols. What do we know? So we're actually going to forward, and then we're going to go back. So a little Mongols review. You and your neighbor are going to be asking each other. Who is? Tell your neighbor. Hopefully you said Genghis Khan. All right, so who was Genghis Khan's grandson? Go ahead and tell your neighbor. All right, so hopefully you said Kublai Khan. I said, what dynasty did Kublai Khan take over? Hopefully you said the Song Dynasty. Remember, Kublai Khan wrote a song about taking over the Song Dynasty. All right, what dynasty did Kublai Khan begin? We said the Yuan Dynasty. All right, so this is a little Mongols review. So we're going to take it back now. Remember that all these things, Kublai Khan was actually the one who helped improve the Silk Road, which made it even better for trade. So now we're back here. So trade is encouraged from the Mongols because remember we just said that Kublai Khan, even though Kublai Khan was technically part of the Yuan Dynasty, is from Genghis Khan, but they're all about trade, even Genghis Khan. So with these, we got rat-infested caravans and ships carried the disease from region to region. So rat-infested caravans. Remember, a caravan is a group of people on camels, and we got ships. All these things got rats that have this flea that is carrying this disease. Plague then traveled to India and spread to Muslim territory. So now it's spreading all throughout Asia, all throughout Europe. So with this, like today, we think of it like today. If we know someone is in contact with someone who has COVID-19, if you're in contact with someone who has it, you have to be quarantined. They don't really have this method right now. They're not really thinking like this. There are no sanctions and laws that say, hey, you got to stay locked up in a room if you had this, like their precautions are now. They're not really 100% sure on what is spreading. All right, so we've done the Mongols review, so we're good on that. So picture of Genghis Khan and Kublai Khan right here. So 1346, the Black Plague reaches the trading city of Kaffa. Italian ships carried the plague to the island of Sicily. From there, it spread all the way throughout Europe. By the end of the 1340s, it surfaced in France, Germany, and England. So now it's all the way through Europe. All these countries are very big now, and they're big then. So 1351, it reached Scandinavia, Eastern Europe, and Russia. Between 1347 to 1351, deaths ranged from 19 to 38 million people. This is one of 2 Europeans. So for every 2 people you have in Europe, one of them's down. Think of like look around the room with everybody's parents. Think of everybody's parents in the room. Somebody's going to sadly die. Even think about it in your groups. 1 or 2 people, if you got groups of 3, one of you's definitely sorry, one of you may die. And then if you've got a group of 2 or you and a partner, one of you may die. It's sad, but that is what was going on. So this is a visual map. If you look up here, cities with repeated plague outbreaks, 14th to 18th century, so that would have been 13 to 1700. Spreading of the plague by marine routes. So this would have been by boat. Remember that the rats would have got onto the ship, and the disease would have spread because everybody's on the ship. You really can't go to. You can lock yourself in one room, but that's usually the captain's locker, and that's for him. So these are all the ways it spreads. Spreads all the way going from right here all the way down and up. 1349, 1350, 1351. So comes in right through here, then there, then up, then right. All right, so effects of the plague. So we're going to be talking about this on like the economy and what people thought caused it. So some thought God was punishing them. They thought that maybe they were being punished for the Crusades or just different acts that they had done in the past. Some blamed the Jews. Germans expelled some from their cities, and some even killed. Some Germans even killed Jews. The economy declined from a low population and low trade. So people aren't able to make as much, they're not able to trade as much, so the economy is not going to do well. Wages rose, how much people are paid, because it's such a dangerous time to be working that people are like, look, if I'm going to go out there and work, I want to be paid for. Think of it like hazard pay right now. Less demand for food because there's not a lot of people going around to eat, so there's not a need for food. Landlords now had to pay workers more. And some starts beginning to pay rent instead of working. So with this, people aren't wanting to work the land. If they are working the land, they're like, look, I'm out and about. I should be getting paid for this. And some are just doing so well that they're like, look, I don't even have to work anymore. I'm doing so well. I can just do the little work that I need to, get paid for it, and then I can just pay rent instead of having to work it off. All right, so now that you finish that up, now that you've watched it one time, now you're going to go back and fill in the notes. So you're going to rewatch it all over again and fill in the notes this time go around. And then once you finish that, I want you and a neighbor to read pages 93, 94, and I want you to read or answer the questions on 93 and answer the questions on 94. And then you should be good for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Try to pull back up into the thing real fast so you guys can see my face before you zoom out. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I can't wait to get back. Hopefully this was a good way for you to learn. If you got any questions, just shoot me an email. I'll try and get back to you. If not, I'll get back with you as soon as I return. Have a great day.